One for them. On deck. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the two teams competing in today's World Cup of Hockey game, Team Sweden and Team Russia. Here is today's lineup for Team Sweden. Number 1, Jonas Enroth. Number 4, Nicholas Charleston. Number 6, Anton Strålman. Number 9, Philip Forsberg. Number 11, Mikael Backlund. Number 4, Matthias Ekholm. Number 16, Marcus Kruger. Number 18, Jakob Silverberg. Number 19, Nicholas Backstrom. Number 21, Louis Eriksson. Number 22, Daniel Sedin. Number 23, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Number 25, Jacob Markstrom. Number 33, Henrik Sedin. Number 34, Carl Soderberg. Number 62, Carl Hagelin. Number 65, Erik Karlsson. Number 72, Patrick Hornqvist. Number 77, Victor Hedman. And number 92, Gabriel Landeskog. The head coach for Team Sweden is Rickard Kronborg. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the World Cup of Hockey 2016, Team Sweden. And now, here is today's lineup for Team Russia. Number 1, Semyon Varlamov. Number 7, Dmitry Kulikov. Number 8, Alex Ovechkin. Number 9, Dmitry Orlov. Number 13, Pavel Datsyuk. Number 22, Nikita Zaitsev. Number 27, Artemi Panarin. Number 41, Nikolai Kulemin. Number 42, Artem Anisimov. Number 47, Alexei Marchenko. Number 63, Evgeny Dadnov. Number 71, Evgeny Malkin. Number 72, Sergei Bobrovsky. Number 74, Alexei Emelin. Number 77, Ivan Telegan. Number 79, Andrei Markov. Number 86, Nikita Kucherov. Number 87, Vadim Shipachev. Number 91, Vladimir Tarasenko. And number 92, Evgeny Kuznetsov. The head coach for Team Russia is Oleg Charnov. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Russia. In celebration of the World Cup of Hockey and in the spirit of international competition, the teams will now exchange a commemorative banner. Would Team Russia captain Alexander Ovechkin please join Team Sweden captain Henrik Sedin at center ice? Good luck to both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able to and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthems of Sweden and Russia.
The eyes of the hockey world on downtown Toronto in the Air Canada Centre for Day 2 of the 2016 World Cup. Team Russia loaded up front, led by the game's most sensational goal scorer in Alex Ovechkin, but firepower was not enough for the Russians at the Sochi Olympics. Will it be today against the prolific defense of Team Sweden, led by Erik Karlsson and Victor Hedman? So, the big guns of Russia versus a very skilled defense it's an intriguing matchup. And to call it, here's Jim Houston with Craig Simpson. Jim.
These would be the two teams favored to come out of Group B. The Russians are the second-ranked team in the world. The Swedes are number 3. But their vaunted defense takes a hit, I suppose, today, simply because Henrik Lundqvist, the king, can't play. Lundqvist has the flu, not even in the lineup. So 25-year-old Jacob Markstrom is the goaltender for Team Sweden today. This is his 6th international appearance. In the pre-tournament, he didn't give up a goal, but he didn't play very much. And Jonas Enroth is his backup. Sergei Bobrovsky has won 3 world championships in the last, or 3 medals at the world championships in the last 3 years. And he was among the top players on his team each year. The Columbus Blue Jackets goaltender is the starter today. The referees, Dan O'Rourke, Wes McCauley, Brian Murphy, and Johnny Murray, all Canadians, and the rules are all National Hockey League. And this first game of the Group B pool is underway. Alex Ovechkin is on the ice. He's playing with Pavel Datsyuk and Nikita Kucherov. The tournament didn't start that way, or the pre-tournament games didn't, but things weren't working very well, and Ovechkin hasn't been terrific. Maybe he will be with Datsyuk. There's the first shot on Markstrom, and it comes from Ovechkin, and it's an easy save.
Yeah, I really think the importance here for Team Russia is to get the top players, as Nick and Kelly and Elliot were talking about on the panel. It's just time, as we saw yesterday, the Americans sleptwalked through the start of their game, and it really cost them here early on. The game's first shot, you'll see a lot of this from Ovechkin. Get everything to the net. The pressure's on Markstrom to respond. We don't know how long he's known Jim, if he's going to play or not. I'm not sure if it was a last-minute flu or he's known all day.
One of the other big boys for the Russians, Evgeny Malkin, hasn't had a particularly great start in the pre-tournament. Maybe he'll get going in game number 1 here. And the Russians got another shot on Markstrom, and now they're offside. Vladimir Tarasenko and Nikolai Kulemin are on this line with Malkin.
One thing we saw yesterday in the Team Canada game, the importance of face-offs, and this is an easily won draw with Kulemin coming in to help out. And Tarasenko, as the boys mentioned, has that real quick release. He's got a heavy shot, and that one through traffic was one that Markstrom had to work hard to fight off with his pad.
Swedes counter here with Nick Backstrom at center. Hornqvist on the right side, Philip Forsberg from Nashville on the left, and a herky-jerky start to the game here as the puck is out of play, and there's another whistle.
Well, one thing about the Swedes, to a man, the players of this ilk have felt this is probably one of their best showings. They've got lots of experience. The back end is deep. They've got goal scoring up front, and a lot of these players have played so often in international games together that the cohesion is good. This isn't a team that's trying to find itself and find its way to come together. They're quite comfortable with how each other play.
Well, on that back end right now, Erik Karlsson's on the ice, number 65. Matthias Ekholm is his partner to start this tournament. And the Nashville defenseman is back with the puck. Michael Backlund is up front. Carl Soderberg, Gabriel Landeskog, a turnover in the neutral zone. And Ivan Telegan, Winnipeg draft, comes into the puck. Evgeny Kuznetsov is on this Russian forward line. And so is Artem Anisimov. Backlund bounces the puck through to Landeskog. Marchenko trying to stay with Gabriel Landeskog, who protected the puck, then coughed it up the boards. And Kuznetsov plays the puck out to center ice. Telegan, big man, dumps the puck in. Certainly not a breakneck start to this game.
No, not at
Very
all.
controlled.
And Jim, you see, much like the other games, just short shifts for everybody. Everybody wanting to get their first touch of the puck, their first physical play, but also try to get the pace of the game up by going short shifts.
Here's that line that everyone has been buzzing about for the Russians that was so good in the World Championships, played together in St. Petersburg. It includes Artemi Panarin, Evgeny Dadonov, and Vadim Shipachev. But they're in their own zone. Dmitry Orlov, Washington Capital defenseman, and future Leaf Nikita Zaitsev, number 22, got the puck to center. Dadonov into the middle, a hard pass from Shipachev, didn't connect with Panarin. Anton Strawman, veteran defenseman, paired on the blue line, got the puck ahead, quick shot, and a nice save by Bobrovsky off Jacob Silverberg, the Anaheim Ducks. Carl Hagelin tried to set up Oliver Ekman-Larsson. That didn't work, and the Russians try and counter. Now Datsyuk carried the puck in or knocked it in over the blue line, a delayed offside, so he backs off. Steady Nick Hjalmarsson on defense with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, talented Arizona defenseman. And now the Russians do move in offside. Couple of minutes in.
Jim, one of the most difficult things for a defenseman is the hang time pass. You're standing still, you've got speed coming at you, and you can see Emelin can't get control of it. A good screen shot through there by Silverberg, and a first big save by Bobrovsky. And this is something for the Swedes to try to set a physical pace to this game. I would have expected the big Russian top guy is Alexander Ovechkin. When he's at his best, play a physical game. We'll see who can exalt a little physical presence in this one.
Henrik and Daniel Sedin on with Louis Eriksson. Started the pre-tournament games together, have played pretty much every shift together, and probably will in Vancouver this season. Got 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in 3 games. Dmitry Kulikov, Andrei Marchenko are the defensemen playing against them. Tarasenko went over the blue line with Kuhlman, and Malkin, a hot shot that hit the mask of Jacob Markstrom. Another chance in front, so that's 3 pretty good shots for the Russians. Quick shots, 2 of them off faceoffs. Evgeny Malkin fed the puck ahead, it hit a skate. Forsberg off the bench, tries to feed Nick Backstrom. He'll have to chase the puck, and he played it to the end boards. Hornqvist was there, but couldn't get the puck, and the Russians flip it out to center. Victor Hedman backing up. The puck stopped, and so Kucherov got it for a moment. Hedman took it back. Hornqvist ahead for Nicholas Backstrom. He'll bank the puck ahead. Hornqvist with Forsberg out front. Takes the shot. Bobrovsky makes the save and stops play. And the Swedes and the Russians are at it.
Here we go. Game on. A little emotion, a little energy. Driving to the net. And one thing for the Russians is we've seen early on, throw everything to Markstrom, make sure that he's a little bit uncomfortable there. This is a bad angle, but Tarasenko with that heavy shot tries to go up around the shoulder blades, and this is what you have to do against this Russian D. You could see Markov lost his man a little bit, not the greatest of speed, and if I'm the Swedes, that's one thing I want to try to take advantage of. This is a younger Russian defensive core, but the 2 olders are the pairing from the Montreal Canadiens in Emelin and Markov. And for Markov, for sure, that's going to be a challenge with that speed on the left side. 2
of the guys who played the most, Orlov is almost a #1 defenseman on this team, and he's a 6 or 7 in Washington. And Nikita Zaitsev plays 25 minutes a game, and he hasn't played in the NHL. Michael Backlund of the Flames. Carl Soderberg and Gabriel Landeskog, both teams rolling 4 lines early. Soderberg trying to protect the puck. He's got Ekman Larsson back at the blue line and feeds him the puck. Larsson just trying to keep it in. Landeskog for Soderberg. Dmitry Kulikov checks him, fell down. Soderberg gets the puck, feeds it out front. It was in the feet of Backlund, and he couldn't get the shot. In comes Landeskog. The Swedes with their first pressure of the game. Nick Hjalmarsson. Landeskog. Marchenko's trying to stay with him from the blue line. Soderberg with a shot that drifted wide of the net. Dadonov got bounced by Ekman Larsson. Shipachev got checked. Russians trying to get out of their own zone. Artemi Panarin with a hard cross-ice pass. Vadim Shipachev is the center on this line. Plays for St. Petersburg. 29-year-old. Has never played in North America. Jacob Silverberg back in for the Swedes. Carl Hagelin in as well. As the pace picks up and the hitting picks up, Zaitsev has the puck.
Best way to contain that talented Russian line is keep them in their own zone like the Swedes were able to do there.
Datsuk trying to weave some magic, couldn't make a play. The Swedes get the puck back. Hagelin dumps it in, and he wasn't at center ice yet. There's an icing call against Sweden.
Another good example of the Swedes getting in quickly, really attacking the defense and forcing the Russians to play in their own zone. And this is one thing that the cycle game of the Swedes is very effective. Soderberg gets knocked down but stays with the puck. Throws Kulikov right up, and look at all the bodies in front of the net. 3 Swedes. Hjalmarsson came all the way down from his point and almost nearly got a rebound and an opening there.
Ovechkin's on the ice in a shooting position for Datsuk, but the faceoff was won by Marcus Kruger, who's an excellent defensive center and penalty killer.
He's seen that before, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
He dug in there to make sure that that one didn't go easily back to Ovechkin, who was ready to go.
Interesting thing, but sometimes a frustrating thing, I think, for fans and for players is the European coach, especially the Russians, like to roll 4 lines, and I don't know that it gets guys like Ovechkin into the game quick enough. Here he is, though, and he's checked at center and knocked down as Carlson got a piece of him. Good defensive play by Erik Karlsson to slow up Ovechkin. And that's not easy to do, or can it be? Daniel Sedin tripped over the blue line. Ovechkin into the middle. Tarasenko with a shot. Fanned on it. Takes the second chance. And he missed the net. And the puck deflected out of play. There's a penalty on the play for a slash. And it'll be against Sweden's Anton Stralman. Erik Karlsson against Ovechkin. He got the measure of the forward on that play. Anton Stralman's taking a penalty. Ovechkin's on the power play at the World Cup.
That wasn't called, but Stralman got right into the hands of Tarasenko, and that drew the penalty. So a power play, as Kelly Rudy was saying, that has been a little out of sync so far, or an opportunity when it really counts here to get an important early goal.
2 for 16 in the 3-3 tournament games. Ovechkin was on the ice, so he takes a break. Although I'm not sure if this is a break for the Swedes, because Kuhlman and Tarasenko are on the ice with Malkin.
And there's another great point, though, of the coaching staff for the Russians. You know, you got a commercial break, you got lots of time to get a rest, and I think you probably want Ovechkin to get himself right into this tournament by an early power play. Instead, he's sitting on the bench.
Artemi Panarin's on this power play. Malkin takes over to the blue line, the lone defenseman. Dmitry Orlov. Malkin. There's a screen set up. It's Kuhlman in front of the net. Very deliberately Malkin. Return pass, cross ice, Panarin. Orlov fires, Markstrom the save. The rebound. Malkin was trying to set up Panarin and missed him. Marcus Kruger trying to clear the puck, and he gets it out to center. He and Silverberg get a change. And on comes Carl Hagelin as a penalty killer. Power play's changing up. The great 8 has come on the ice. Andrei Markov will be the setup man at the blue line. Kuznetsov's on the ice, so is Pavel Datsyuk, already up at the attacking blue line. Nikita Kucherov into the attacking zone. His pass to Ovechkin was offside with 46 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, some good, quick, rapid puck movement down low, up high, and watch Panarin on the right-hand side, the right-hand shot up there. He doesn't read that this is going to come back to him. He goes to the net. If he had stayed a little bit higher, Malkin tried on the backhand to give him a one-time pass, and he just overextended himself.
If that had been Ovechkin, he wouldn't have moved.
He wouldn't have moved
right there.
at all, exactly.
Watch Ovechkin, if they get into the attacking zone and set up, he just stands in one place, as he does with the Washington Capitals in that power play setup, waiting for the one-time. There's Ovechkin with a hit on Backstrom. Up the ice comes Kucherov. This is 3-on-2 as they get into the power play. Datsyuk throws the puck to the corner. Kucherov tried to send it around for Ovechkin. Ekman Larsson intercepted, and he cleared the puck, and it's out of play.
Well, there's two good examples there of just the amount of space that the back end of this Swedish team takes. Hedman stands up at the line, and an excellent read by Oliver Ekman Larsson coming down low, and that's what you're going to go up against. You've got a lot of good experience on the back end, and especially killing penalties. Those big bodies and long arms take away passing lanes and shooting lanes, and that was a good example of it there.
Malkin's power play unit back on, and Evgeny Malkin won the draw. Hagelin had a chance to clear the puck. Ekholm does as well, and he makes good on it. And that'll just about do it in the penalty to Anton Stralman. Evgeny Malkin. Artemi Panarin, a great stick by Hagelin, coming back to knock the puck into his own zone. Nicholas Hjalmarsson around to the board. Zaitsev is there. Stralman's coming back on. Zaitsev held the puck in. Dadonov, Shiplichev over to Panarin, and the pass didn't get through. Stralman made a nice play as he came back on the ice after serving his penalty. 5-on-5 again, and the Sedins and Louis Eriksson come on. Out against Artem Anisimov, Teligan and Kucherov. 77 is Ivan Teligan to Kucherov, too hot to handle. Anisimov. There's Kulikov in off the blue line to keep the puck in. Ivan Teligan trying to get the puck on a cycle. Anisimov couldn't do it, and the Swedes get a chance to break out. Henrik Sedin for Daniel, out of his reach. Louis Eriksson over to try and hold the puck in, can't do it. Kulikov quickly to center. Teligan, end of his shift, dumps the puck in and heads for the bench. Again, Henrik Lundqvist unable to play today, not even in the lineup as the backup. He's got the flu, so it's Jacob Markstrom in goal, and the shots are 4-2 in favor of the Russians early on. Hedman to Hjalmarsson. Stretch pass, didn't get through. Cut off by Pavel Datsyuk. Nikita Kucherov gave the puck away. In comes Philip Forsberg. Nick Backstrom gets in deep, won't shoot it. Plays the puck back. Here's Hjalmarsson. Backstrom fires and he missed the net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Hjalmarsson with a one-timer off some skates. Forsberg shoots, that didn't get through to the net. Datsyuk blocked it in front. Backstrom, sharp angle. Hornqvist in his office in front of the net, causing mayhem, and he and Datsyuk both go down in front of the goal. Hjalmarsson took a hit from Ovechkin as he dumped the puck in. And both teams make changes. Ovechkin's in an ornery mood now. He and Forsberg come together going to the bench.
And Jim, my guess is that of that first power play, you get second power play minutes, only 45 seconds of the two, and that's not something that Alexander Ovechkin is accustomed to in the National Hockey League.
Victor Hedman to Carl Soderberg. Spins and throws the puck towards the net. It's caught up in the equipment of Orlov. Knocked it down, moves it ahead, but they still can't get the puck out. Stralman held it in. Soderberg again, he's been good early on in this situation, working the boards. He's up against Nikita Zaitsev. Puck's knocked loose, Stralman down the boards, the defenseman holds it in. Soderberg relayed out front, Landeskog couldn't get the puck. Tarasenko into the middle, a turnover. Landeskog took that, and then Backlund ran into Soderberg at the end of a shift.
You find the pace and the physicality picking up a little bit as the players get into it. Their body's starting to go, and that one's going to be a penalty. This opportunity here for Sweden coming back after the break.
Orlov was tired. Orlov was tired at the end of his shift, trying to get to the bench, clear the puck over the glass. Ovechkin into the game now after the early.
Set to go on the power play here. For years it was Ovechkin, Malkin, and Datsyuk, the core of Team Russia. It still is, but add to the arsenal players like this of Adam Shipachyov, who many think is the next Artemi Panarin, who apparently NHL bound when his contract is up in the KHL. Nikita Kucherov, Artemi Panarin, and Evgeny Kuznetsov, top 10 in NHL scoring. So those are big additions, Jim.
They'll get a chance after this power play to get back to work, but it's Sweden with the man advantage. Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Erik Karlsson, two defensemen, but both very good offensive defensemen, play the power play. And like most of the power plays in the tournament with four forwards, well, the Swedes will do that sometimes too. They've got the Sedins and Louis Eriksson up front. Power play went 3 for 12 in the pre-tournament games. Ekman-Larsson with the drop back to Henrik Sedin. Into traffic, he's stripped to the puck. Pavel Datsyuk out here killing the penalty with Nikolai Kulemin, who's a veteran of this, and he takes a shot, forces the Swedes back into their own zone.
You don't necessarily think of the Russians as the best of the penalty killers, but in the exhibition, just one goal against in 12 chances. So they've been pretty efficient, and they have a good start here, staying up at the line, not giving an easy entry.
Louis Eriksson to Henrik Sedin. Daniels not far away on the inboards and takes the pass. Henrik. Eriksson goes to the front of the net, being worked over by Alexei Yemelin. Henrik closes in, looking for an outlet. Trying to find Daniel. Didn't work. The stick of Zaitsev got in there. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Henrik trying to find Daniel. The Russians get the puck again and again. It's Zaitsev, and he just about cleared the puck over the glass for another penalty. Ekman-Larsson back, trying to catch the Russians on a quick change. Passes off as he goes down. Nicholas Backstrom on this second unit has Patrick Hornqvist with him out front of the net from the blue line. Karlsson stays on this power play. So did Ekman-Larsson on the other side. Hornqvist parked in front. Landeskog at the side of the net. Backstrom has the puck. Stationary for a moment, finally shoots it. He couldn't get it through as the Russians, four of them, collapsed to the net. Backstrom again, penalty's over. There's the shot, Bobrovsky makes the save as Orlov returns, and again another mix-up in front of the Russian net.
The fifth season is when kids dream big. That's why we're a proud sponsor of the World Cup of Hockey, with over 8,000 community teams across Canada.
A real pedestrian, tentative power play here for the Swedes. Look at no movement at all. If the box is going to just collapse back and not be aggressive, you have to try to get some sort of puck movement. Lots of indecision. You saw the shift before. Henrik Sedin do the exact same thing. If the Russians are just going to collapse back and not go chasing, I think you have to try to move that puck and move the box around to get yourself a one-timer in a shooting lane.
So after a penalty kill and Alex Ovechkin doesn't kill, Malkin's line comes on, so Ovechkin has a little trouble getting into the game again with getting a little ice time. It was the second power play and no penalty kill. Backstrom, Hornqvist, and Forsberg at 5-on-5 working in the attacking zone. Forsberg tried to bank one in. Bobrovsky would have none of that. Markov got the puck to center. Kuhlman goes after Stralman. Wraps him up. Hedman comes back to help his partner. Malkin came in and bounced off Victor Hedman. Nick Backstrom. 4 Russians are back. Puck is shot in off the board. Silverberg with a quick shot, and Bobrovsky made the save.
Jim, still no Ovechkin line now, so not only not the penalty kill, but he's going to be the third line up afterwards. Interesting strategically for the Russian coach.
One common denominator in the last few big tournaments is the Russian coaches managed to anger their top players from the NHL. Sometimes they just turn them right off.
And in Sochi, it was just 1 goal and 1 assist for Alexander Ovechkin, and really felt that they were a real disjointed group. They never really came together as a group.
Dadonov into the middle. Shipachev. Dadonov takes the shot. Markstrom makes the save. And you saw Artemi Panarin darting and making passes, and he and his line mates can't get the first goal at the World Cup of Hockey. Russia and Sweden World Championships. So he's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, he's got success. It's just, again, the bit of a different culture with the National Hockey League players. You look at body language now. The captain's been sitting on the bench. This is a big first game against a tough opponent, and Ovechkin just itching to try to get involved in the game, and he's had to wait. It's an interesting scenario. As you mentioned, we've seen it numerous times, and it'll be fun to watch to see how he manages his bench as this tournament goes along.
It's been about 6 minutes of playing time, probably about 10 minutes of real time since Ovechkin was on the ice.
And let's face it, there's lots of great players on this Russian team.
Sure.
You just, the pressure that's on Ovechkin, your captain, and really try to get him involved in this tournament right off the bat.
But do you think you're winning this tournament without Ovechkin having a real presence?
I wouldn't say so.
Andrei Markov, Datsuk held the puck in. Kucherov couldn't come up with it. Gabe Landeskog does. Backlund, Soderberg, and Landeskog play against the Datsuk line, and they've been a good Swedish line early in the game, and they played physically. Datsuk, Alexei Yemelin, Andrei Markov, and here comes Datsuk. Snapped the shot, blocked by Hedman. Datsuk has it back, lobs one into the net. Markstrom's trying to find it, and he does. And another wrestling match at the side of the net. Ovechkin's in the middle of this.
That's where you got to go if you're looking for rebounds and try to get on the scoreboard here. Why are we focusing on Alexander Ovechkin? Here's his international career, very much like his NHL one. Goals aplenty, points over a point per game. So you're right, Jim, he's had success all the way around, but you know the one thing he's been itching to get is the Stanley Cup championship. Didn't get that last year, and this World Cup is a real important one to Russia.
Nisimov won the draw. Orlov's shot ricocheted off some shin guards wide of the net. Jacob Silverberg got the puck to center. There's Netsov there to take it back. Nikita Zaitsev. Nisimov tipped the puck in. Teligan races in after it. Centering pass into the skates of Evgeny Kuznetsov. Zaitsev, Orlov, screenshot, Markstrom with a save, loose puck in front of the net, it's cleared away as all of those yellow sweaters collapse to the front of the net. Quick shot there by Louis Eriksson, that's stopped by Sergei Bobrovsky. Anisimov ahead of steam, but he left the puck behind and had to slow up. Mattias Ekholm is checked by Teligan. Erik Karlsson in the middle of this battle. Both defensemen back of the net. Up comes Marchenko, and he holds the puck in for the Russians. They want to change. So the Swedes can break out, and it's the Sedins that get to center. Henrik dumps the puck in. Daniel goes after it. Played that perfectly. Intercepted the pass and tried to set up Henrik. Instead of going to the body as most forwards would, he just went between the two defenders and stole the puck. Daniel. Henrik. Hedman's out front. Eriksson's already gone off. And the Sedin stay. A wraparound attempt by Henrik. Can't get the puck to the net, but it drifted through the blue. Kuhlman got the puck to center. Hedman is there in the midst of a Swedish change. Hornqvist with the shoot in. Bobrovsky, the other 72, sets the puck up. Hard pass to center. Getting Dadonov. Couldn't come up with a puck. Yemelin. Hedman stepped in front of Dadonov, and the puck went up in the air. Forsberg didn't know where it was. Dadonov, initially drafted by Florida. He is one member of this line who actually played 50 games in the NHL. Panarin, the Rookie of the Year, stops up. There's a hard shot by Markov that was blocked by Philip Forsberg. Markov again trying to find Panarin, passes behind him. In comes Alexei Yemelin with a shot and a nice kick save by Markstrom. Forsberg got the rebound and got it out for Sweden.
You see how dangerous that line is playing off each other, and you always have to have your head on a swivel.
I go Backlund with the steal and the shot that Bobrovsky's stopped. And another good save by Bobrovsky, who's been into the game, and the shots are now 10-8 in favor of Sweden. Carl Soderberg. The backhander out front. Datsuk was there to clear it away. Backlund comes back into his own zone for the puck. Erik Karlsson slowly. Russians are changing. Now he's going to wait. The Swedes are going to change as well. And back on come the Sedins and Louis Eriksson. Henrik into the middle. Eriksson with a drop pass. Daniel with a shot just wide. Eriksson onto the rebound off the boards. Couldn't quite get there. And the Russians have the puck, and Anisimov starts up. Pelican's just ahead of him. Kulikov comes up with the play as well, and the play goes offside as the Russians attack.
Boy, timing is everything, isn't it? You're in all alone by yourself as the lone defenseman, and Markov just goes to play the puck up. His stick disintegrates, and there's Bobrovsky bailing him out. If you're a Vancouver Canuck fan, get used to watching this. You're used to Daniel and Henrik going back and forth, keeping that gap within an 8-foot radius. You can see they're going back and forth, supporting each other well. And the job for Eriksson was to get in the way. He ended up changing, and Hornqvist comes in and almost ends up putting that one in the back of the net. How many times have you seen that back and forth, Jim, between 22 and 33? Backhand pass, support pass, down low cycle.
Couple of thousand. Carl Hagelin. Megan Silverberg. There's Marcus Kruger with a pass intended for Ekman Larsson, who went off his skate, and Ekman Larsson has to chase the puck to center. He's with Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Minute left in the first period, no score in the game.
With that cycle starting to work for the Swedes now, Jimmy, I think the Russians are collapsing back to the front of the net. The points are wide open, and that was the case there. Ekman Larsson just got in a little too tight. I think you almost want to spread them out a little bit and start using the points to get shots for them.
Markov with a cross-ice pass, a great read by Hedman to break the play up. Malkin and Hedman up against each other again. And again, the Russians are stalled, and now the puck is dumped in by Zaitsev. Markstrom played the puck up the boards, off the glass and over the glass.
Well, it's been an interesting period, and you know the guy who has probably the most nerves coming into this game is that man there, Markstrom, and for the most part, the Russians have not been able to put enough pressure. If you're thinking of a goaltender that you might have a chance to get on early, the Russians have done a lot of outside passing and back and forth, but they haven't gotten in tight and got some rebounds and forced them to play the puck.
As Ovechkin had a shot.
He's had an attempt at one early on. That was his first shift, I believe, of the period.
Shipachev, Panarin, Dadonov with the last shift of the period for the Russians. Hornqvist got the puck to center. Orlov drives it right back in. Hedman around to Hornqvist. Job is just to get this out of his own zone and run out the clock. And the first period comes to an end. The shot's 10-8 in favor of the Swedes. Each team had a power play and failed. But neither of these teams able to score. The second and third ranked teams in international hockey, the Russians and Swedes, scoreless after one. Here's Ron.
Bobrovsky's 10 saves here were signaled in St. Petersburg. He was sensational in the pre-tournament. The save he made on Tomas Plekanec, one of the saves so far this year. Just gorgeous. How he didn't injure himself on that set of splits. Bobrovsky robs Plekanec. As I say, he made 10, and then the Finns, who play North America tonight. We'll have that telecast at 7:30 Eastern. Finland, Russia is Thursday. Here's Vladimir Tarasenko and Scott Oak.
Vladimir, the Team Russia is very deep offensively. Do you think you threatened enough in the first period?
What's mean threaten?
Did you challenge the goaltender on the other team enough?
This is first period. It's always a game like this. You know, both teams try to find out how they can win, and I think we have not bad first period. So now we have time to talk about it and play better next two.
If you're going to win the World Cup, you have to get your power play straightened out. I know you practiced it for a couple of days. One man advantage in the first period with one shot. You concerned about playing with the man advantage?
I believe it's going to go better, and you know, we have a group of guys who believe in each other. So if we work hard, it's gonna be goals.
Thanks for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, Scott's got to stop trying to trick the players with those interviews.
Russians and threats. Who would have think? Sorry, it's just a joke. Kelly.
Well, you heard Craig Simpson talk in the first period about the Swedes and how they're trying to attack the Russians, and it's all about their cycle game. And I totally agree. This is the way to do it, because I don't think the Russian defense is as strong as some of the other countries in this tournament. So what the Swedes are doing is they're going to cycle it endlessly, and this particular shift went 54 seconds in the Russian zone, and that is hard hockey to defend against. Nick, I know you love this line with Backstrom, Soderberg, and Landeskog, and they're doing what they're asked to do, just tire out the team in their own zone. And when you think about all the confusion it creates and how you don't really know your teammates all that well and your defense partner and so on. So when you do the cycle down low effectively like the Swedes are, it causes all sorts of problems. And this is a real effective way. I just hope the Swedes don't get away from this.
The other thing that Jim and Craig talked a lot about in that first period was the Russian philosophy of coaching, the way they do things, particularly on usage. Okay, this is a D-zone draw. To give you an idea, this is that shift that Kelly just showed. Panarin in the NHL this year, 15% of his faceoffs he took all year, and he took almost 1,000 were in the defensive zone. Chicago almost never used them there. Now, with their choices of centers, and he plays with Shipichov, they could have put Anisimov there, they could have put Malkin there, they could have put Datsuk there. All three of them might be better defensive lines than that one. But this is the Russian way, next line up. And if you looked at them at even strength, Nick, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all period. And it sometimes drives their players crazy.
Real good physical period from the Swedes. And to your point, Kelly, unlike the U.S. team that try to run you through the boards, it's actually tougher on you when you are leaning on your opponents constantly. And every once in a while, there is the big hit. And I love Carlson for no other reason that he's sneaky at it. You would think a guy at that skill level would go and try to avoid contact. And of course, we knew that from a couple of playoffs ago, Carlson on Nathan Beaulieu. And the Russians better keep their head up when they got that Norris Trophy two-timer out there. He is sneaky.
And they did have a huge forecheck in that opening period, as you say, and Bobrovsky with the 10 saves is the storyline. It's a 10-8, the shots on goal for the Swedes, and no score after 20 minutes. When we come back, Team Europe upsets the USA 3-0 yesterday. We'll hear from Roman Josi. He sat down this morning with David Amber. That's next at Air Canada Centre here in Teal.
Was the scene of the World Cup tonight. It's the greatly anticipated first game. Franz Nielsen, Gaborik in front, scores! Leon Draisaitl in front, gets it back and scores!
We pulled them all, boys, with the first two games. Pulled them all.
And Team Europe with an upset victory in Game 1. Ricochet hit the side of the net, Crosby scores! Bank shot! Here he is again in front of his backhand of Thornton. He scores! What an impressive start to the World Cup for Canada. 6-0 over the Czech Republic.
Obviously, Sidney Crosby, unbelievable for Canada yesterday. Offensive defensemen, you go back to 76. Leading scorers were Denis Potvin and Bobby Orr. In 81, it was Alexei Kazatona for the Soviets. When they won, Fedosov was fantastic in 87. Gusarov, Kazatonov again. Brian Leach in 96. Roman Josi now for Team Europe is a guy to keep an eye on. He spoke earlier today to David Amber.
Roman, day one of Team Europe, you walk into the dressing room, players from 8 different countries. What was that like?
It was different, but it was a lot of fun, and you get to meet a lot of people, a lot of guys you play against, and guys you look up to, and all of a sudden you meet them and you're in the dressing room with all those guys, and it's been a lot of fun. We had 10 great days of training camp and really came together as a group.
If I walk into Team Europe's dressing room, how many different languages will I hear?
Well, we try to keep it to English as much as we can, but there's a bunch of there's obviously Swiss guys. We talk Swiss German, and then there's Slovakians, Danish. There's some Swedish too because guys played in Sweden. So there's a bunch of different languages.
How different is Team Europe now from 10 days ago?
Well, I think we turned it around after that first period in the second game against the North American team where we were down 5-1, and after that period, I think we all kind of realized like we can't play like that or we're not going to have a chance, and that's when we started to play together, and I think the next 6 periods we had in the pre-tournament were really good, and we played really well as a team, and I think that's what we did yesterday too.
When I talk to players on other teams, they say, I'm playing for my country. What are you playing for?
Our countries too. I think we all represent our country in a different way. We all have the flag on our shoulders. We have the Swiss flag on our shoulders, and guys have the Slovakian flag. So, in a way, you're still representing your country, and playing for Team Europe. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. It's a big challenge coming together as a group with new guys, and we really bonded in that training camp, and you just want to play well for those other guys.
Roman, let's change gears. Talk about your NHL team. The big move, PK for Shea Weber. What was your reaction?
I was definitely surprised, I think like everybody else, and nobody really expected Shea to go. And obviously my first reaction, I was obviously a little sad. I mean, he's a great friend of mine, and we've been playing together for a long time, became really good friends. So I think in this business, it's always hard if you lose a good friend like that.
Did you call Shea after the trade?
Yeah, I did. We just talked a little bit a couple hours after it happened.
What did he say?
Well, he was surprised too, but I mean, he took it really professionally. You know how it works in this business, and but I think it was a surprise for everyone. Nobody saw it coming.
You're a left-handed shot. PK's a right-handed shot. How much have you thought about the prospect of being defensive partners with PK?
It would be a lot of fun. I mean, he's one of the best defensemen in the world, and he's fun to watch. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of speed, and it'd be definitely a lot of fun to play with him.
So what are your expectations now adding PK to your team?
Well, he obviously has a big personality, and I met him at the All-Star game, and I think he's a real nice guy. Real good person, and has a personality, and I think he's a fun guy to be around.
Eavesdrop here, this is fun.
I have a question. They all the time goes to the net and try to hit our goalie.
Hornquist?
Yeah.
That play there.
Twice.
Hey,
twice.
Heads up. You got these guys here. The last one here, that puck's loose, falls down between Bob's legs. Hornquist is on the good side. I think your guy. Not just
but it wasn't twice. It was twice.
Hey, I'm just talking about the one that I was down there for. He takes advantage of it. I did the same thing, and I used to weigh 225 pounds. Not as much as you, but I'll watch.
Hey, I lost some weight, so I'm light right now.
So there's the skinny on that, Jim and Craig.
Alex is into the game in that way anyway. We talked a lot about his ice time in the first period. He ended up with 5 minutes and 2 seconds. 4 forwards played more than he did. He had 1 shot. His shift lengths with 43 seconds. So maybe that's not enough to get going. But last night, Sid Crosby had a goal and an assist in 4 minutes and 8 seconds with 22-second shifts in the first period. I guess it's what you do with the ice time,
Absolutely.
Greg.
Yeah, you got a lot of opportunity out of very little ice time. And we'll see if this second period, if the Russians change things up at all.
Ovechkin starts the period with Pavel Datsyuk and Nikita Kucherov against the Sedins and Louis Eriksson. Datsyuk had to wait for Ovechkin to get back on side. Ovi's in front of the net. Nice play by Anton Stralman to stop Datsyuk. In comes Ovechkin. He's checked. And Hedman's away. He'll join the rush, but Eriksson dumps the puck in and Victor heads for the bench. Henrik Sedin up against Pavel Datsyuk. Daniel. Eriksson heads for the front of the net. Puck comes back to Henrik, the backhand out front, and Eriksson didn't want to backhand it, and he tried to play the puck to the point. Ovechkin cleared it. His first shift of the second period is over. Nikita Zaitsev. 25-year-old with a long pass down the ice. No icing on this play as Jacob Markstrom, the Swedish goaltender, tried to clear the puck. Yebelin brought it in offside. And the play is stopped. The Russians and the Swedes play each other a lot internationally. But the Russians have really had the Swedes' number.
They have, and a lot of it has to do with their ability to put the puck in the net. So what's Ovechkin trying to do? Here's a body of work in this game. He's tried to be physical at times, try to get to those tough areas of the ice, get some pucks, and here's his first shift of the third period there going after Victor Hedman, and you'd like to see a lot more of that if you're a Russian fan, that physical play from number 8.
The senior men's national teams, it's been 13 years since Sweden beat Russia.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is. Even when they won the gold medal at the Turin Olympics in 2006 in the preliminary round, they got blanked 5-0 by the Russians. They've truly had the Swedes' number. And in both of these teams, Greg, it's kind of interesting that they do well at the World Championships, but in these best-on-best tournaments, World Cups, Canada Cups, neither of them have done really well. The Russians won one and were runner-up, and the Swedes haven't done much at all.
I think at some part when you bring it on to the North American ice too, it just evens things out so much. I think the teams that represent Canada and the United States in the World Championships are at such a disadvantage playing on that big ice surface. But when you have best on best, we've seen what's happened.
And this is best on best at the World Cup of Hockey as the puck comes out to center. Vladimir Tarasenko will take the puck to the net to his forehand. Markstrom sealed things off. Alexei Marchenko through the puck in. Nick Hjalmarsson takes over, and the Swedes start out of their own zone. Backlund, Soderberg, Landeskog. They've been a pretty good physical line, and they're in after the puck. Marchenko stripped to the puck. Landeskog out front. Hedman knocked the puck out of the air to keep it in. There's an aerial, and Bob's got it.
One of the more dangerous Russian players so far in this game has been Tarasenko, coming off a 40-goal season in St. Louis, and watch his legs, just keeps the legs moving, tries to get inside on Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Larsson just did his best to get his stick down and not allow that curl back to go hard to the net. If you can cut in front of the net there, you might have a bit of a disaster on your hands and maybe even get a rebound goal there.
Kuznetsov comes in to take the draw against Nick Backstrom. Washington center won the faceoff. Ivan Teligan trying to get the puck back to him. Kuznetsov wanted it. He was open but didn't get the puck in the neutral zone. Mattias Ekholm. This play by Philip Forsberg on the boards in his own zone. Shoveled the puck to center only to have it shot back in. Ekholm got into the lineup. Hampus Lindholm is the extra defenseman who was scratched. So Ekholm gets to play with Erik Karlsson, who has the puck right now. Forsberg, hard pass. Backstrom couldn't get it, but he forced his way onto the puck and then put it in deep for Forsberg. Orlov against Backstrom, two Washington Capitals. Forsberg helps out, and Orlov swept the puck away from him but couldn't get it out. Stralman with a shot, that's blocked. by his own man Backstrom, and the puck bounces to center. Louis Eriksson is back, so is Stralman. Markstrom came out there, and that could have been a disastrous collision. Avoided by all. Eriksson, Daniel Sedin, backhander. Bobrovsky with the save, stops play.
One of the things we trumpeted coming into this game was the ability of that Swedish defense to do so many things, both offensively and defensively. Karlsson known more for his offense, but there's a defensive play. Stralman, good active defense coming up. Ekman Larsson's got such good mobility. Victor Hedman closes the gap so well, and there's the frustrating part about playing this Swedish team is trying to find that open ice in the offensive zone.
Hedman's had a pretty good day defensively. And he can have a good day both ways when he's on his game. And he appears to be today. Shipachev. Artemi Panarin walks in, fanned on the shot. For 27. Deceptive Blackhawk winger to the blue line. Andrei Markov with a shot that was blocked. Eriksson trying to get away, gets some help from Henrik Sedin to Daniel, a shoot-in, end of a shift. Yevlin to Panarin. Bounces the puck ahead at center. That's read perfectly by Nicholas Hjalmarsson. So the pass didn't get through to Datsuk. Jacob Silverberg. Kruger with a sharp angled shot, missed on the short side. Puck gets out to center. Nikita Kucherov for the Russians dumps it in, and Markstrom's out to play. Hjalmarsson relays up the boards. Dmitry Kulikov into the middle. Marchenko on the other side with a shot. Blocked by Kruger, and the Swedes get out in a hurry. Except they dropped back, so Carl Hagelin regrouped in his own zone, and the forwards ahead of him had to come back. Silverberg after the puck. Read that perfectly as Bobrovsky put it to the corner. Kulikov with a nice defensive play physically. Off the boards, Ovechkin took the pass from Datsuk. Picks up some speed, slowed up at the line. Ekholm just shadowed him, stayed right with him. There's that Swedish defense again. And an icing call against Sweden. First of two games at the World Cup of Hockey today. We'll be right back here tonight. One of the most interesting teams that has really created a buzz is Team North America tonight. They play in their weight class. Finland is a young team as well. 7:30, our show begins.
If you don't have confidence in your skating ability and your partner, you back off. But look at the D of the Swedish defense there. Both Karlsson got his feet moving quickly, didn't allow any gap at all against Ovechkin, and he and his partner just stood up at the line and once again thwarted the attack. Nice job.
Back off there, and that's exactly what Ovechkin is.
As soon as he gets the line, you get a little crisscross. Now you become dangerous as that right-handed shot coming down the left side.
Ekholm and Karlsson still on against a different line. It's Malkins. Tarasenko there, Kuhlman in front, got one shot, trying to get the backhander away. And a malfunction by the Swedes defensively there, and Markstrom covers up.
There's times when you have so much confidence in your own abilities that you get a little casual and watch Karlsson here. He thinks he can outweigh his man, but a nice stick there by Kuhlman. Turned the puck over, and a heads-up play by Markstrom there. Watch Markstrom's reaction. He's not set, but quickly gets down with his stick and then hunts for that puck before the Kuhlman can get to it.
Kuhlman stays on here with Tarasenko and Malkin. And the Swedes make a change. Hedman and Stralman have come on defensively. And Hedman makes the play out of his own zone to Gabe Landeskog. Tarasenko back, Michael Backlund's right on it. Malkin in traffic, and the Swedes get the puck back. Landeskog to Backlund. Lions had a good cycle game. Landeskog into the right wing corner. Yemelin arrives, and you know what will happen when he arrives. Usually there's a collision of some sort, and Backlund went down. But the Swedes won the battle. Landeskog, here's Hedman, fires a shot. Deflected and stopped before it got to the net. Soderberg, Stralman off the end boards. Landeskog is there. Backlund's in front. Soderberg, in comes Hedman to the front of the net, and he had just gone too far. He might have got that puck. Stralman, Landeskog, another good shift for this line. Yemelin just trying to get the puck out of his own zone. This Balkan line's been on for a while.
One of the rare times where you see a real territorial advantage. That's Sweden's game when they're effective. They have those long shifts where the cycle game really gets the defense out of sorts.
Straight up the middle. Hornqvist is stopped by Bobrovsky. Russians got caught on the long change with a long shift by the Malkin line, and they just about paid for it.
Good heads-up play knowing Emelin had lost his stick, too, to take advantage of that.
Hornqvist, Nick Backstrom, and Forsberg move in offside, and a close call there, but a good save by Sergei Bobrovsky. See the Russians scrambling to change. Hornqvist off the bench takes the pass straight up the middle. A glove save by Bob at the World Cup of Hockey.
After his Vezina Trophy win in 2013, groin injuries, 6 of them in the last 2 seasons, became the bane of his career. Bobrovsky suffered 3 of them last season. They cost him 35 games, and how could it not have affected his mindset? He said after just 4 games last season with the Blue Jackets in October, I have 0 confidence right now, a far cry from this Vezina Trophy for him. So in the offseason, he revamped his workout routine, and the Russians and the Columbus Blue Jackets hope they're seeing a different goaltender to start this World Cup, Jim.
Seen a pretty good goaltender in this game, and it's obviously going to take a terrific goaltending performance because it'll be a tight game, as many of them are. Shots are now 12-11 for the Swedes. TV timeout, Noel Ovechkin again. Anisimov, Kuznetsov, and Telekin were next up. Marchenko stripped to the puck. Backstrom with a shot that deflected into the corner and into the netting out of play.
Well, sooner or later, that just starts to frustrate the National Hockey League players. Jim, you mentioned before the success that the Russians and the Swedes have had in World Championships, but on the Russian side too, if you get into these best on best, so many of the NHL type players aren't used to playing that type of a system, and it just frustrates them. We saw it in Sochi where Malkin and Ovechkin sat on the bench and at times seemed disinterested. They seemed really out of sorts, and they're not used to playing that style. And they do have a bit of ability to impress their will on the team, don't you think?
Yes, they do. They obviously haven't changed Olin Znarok's mind yet about the way he's going to play. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 as the Lions go. Here's Telekin. Drafted by Atlanta. Became Winnipeg's property in 2010. Hasn't played in the NHL. Henrik Sedin is back. His pass into the middle. And Carlson up on the play, and Louis Eriksson. Daniel filling in for Carlson. Holds the puck in. Dmitry Orlov can't get it out. Carlson. Ekholm fires a shot up high. Bobrovsky fought that off with Henrik Sedin in front of the net. He could hit Bobrovsky, might have hit Henrik. Artem Anisimov squeezed off by Carlson, and Ekholm is back for the puck. Pass to center, Henrik tips the puck in. Sedin line changes. Orlov straight up the middle. Shipachev. Dadonov trying to dangle in. He's got the puck now. Panarin hovering around as well to the blue line. Marchenko. Kulikov to the net. Panarin was there, couldn't tip the puck. Marchenko is stripped of the puck, and through the neutral zone come the Swedes. Ekman Larsson with a shot. Bobrovsky with a save, and he stops play.
I think both these teams are going to have to start making a more concerted effort of getting pucks to the net. And one thing they try to do is bring the D up. You can see Carlson will jump up in the play, stays onside, goes to the net. But instead of throwing that to the net, Sedin tried to thread the needle. If he throws that one on that left pad, you've got yourself a rebound. Here's a high, hard shot that Henrik Sedin just bailed out on at the last second.
It's only human.
Look at the ref cam on Wes McCauley's helmet there. It has a great view of how close that was to hitting Henrik in the head.
Landeskog, Backlund, and Soderberg up against the Datsuk line. Ovechkin's on the ice, but the Swedes have the puck in the attacking zone. Nick Hjalmarsson. Carl Soderberg. Hjalmarsson jumped to the front of the net. The puck goes into the glove of Bobrovsky, and he stops play.
You mentioned a few times this line, Jim, for the Swedes is the one that has had the territorial advantage, and they've been trying to work that cycle down low. I mentioned before trying to get out to the points. This time, though, Ovechkin does a pretty good job. Look, he's in the shooting lane, not exactly the most aggressive to stop it, but he forced the pass to the outside and an easy save for Bobrovsky. Look at the little battles in tight to try to get to the front of the net that the Russians are trying to box out on.
That was a short shift for Ovechkin and Datsuk, and they're back on the bench, and on comes Evgeny Malkin. He won the face-off. Hedman and Stralman are back. Kuhlman, Tarasenko, and Malkin on the attack. And they'll get a chance to attack off an attacking zone face-off because of an icing call.
And this is where in the National Hockey League, Jim, don't you think you make a change here? And although Malkin is on the ice, Tarasenko's on the ice, but so often Ovechkin would be just jumping over to try to take advantage, and on that side, as a right-handed shot, he'd be at the top of the circle ready for the one-time shot.
Malkin won with his forehand. Marchenko held the puck in. Kuhlman on a battle here with Victor Hedman. To the blue line, Marchenko fires a shot low, and it just missed with Malkin screening in front of goaltender Jacob Markstrom. Philip Forsberg was checked. Tarasenko trying to make a play, and now he's double-teamed. Hedman finally gets the puck off the board, just eluded the check from Kulikov, and got the puck through center. Forsberg trying to fight for some ice here. Marchenko is back. Fired around, this puck comes to Matthias Ekholm, and he'll fire it right back in. Nikolai Kuhlman.
Linesman lost his whistle. Luckily, he has another one in his pocket. Now he's gone to pick it up, though. That's an important piece of equipment if you got an offside.
You don't think they'd stop if he just screamed? Matthias Ekholm. Into the boards by Zaitsev. Anisimov clears the puck for the Russians to center. Carl Hagelin is back. Marcus Kruger. Tellegen comes straight at him. Ekholm to Carlson. Finds a little room, makes a little room. Here comes Erik Karlsson. His weak shot is kicked aside by Bobrovsky. Kruger to the blue line, and Karlsson, he bobbled the puck and it came outside the line. He shot it back in. And this will be an offside call against the Swedes. Past the midway mark of the second period. Russia against Sweden from Group B, and no score at the World Cup of Hockey.
Entirely possible this World Cup will be the last time Daniel and Henrik Sedin play for their country. In the 2004 World Cup, the Twins were essentially extras with Team Sweden. They went on to become big stars with the Canucks while continuing to represent their country. One of their crowning achievements, leading Sweden to the 2013 World Championship, and before that, Olympic gold in 2006. They'll finish their current deals with Vancouver, but with the NHL uncertain to play in the next Olympic Winter Games, this could be the last best-on-best tournament for two great players from Sweden, Jim.
They will both be 36 before this tournament is over.
Not to get a little nostalgic watching Pavel Datsuk here in North America. This might be his last turn in North America.
Yeah, pretty good chance of that.
After 14 years, a member of the Detroit Red Wings.
Here comes Henrik. Louis Eriksson for Daniel, and a good defensive play by Dmitry Orlov. That was shaping up to be a pretty play. Artemi Panarin back. Dadonov trying to feed Shipachev in front of the net, couldn't do it. Back the other way, Henrik for Daniel. Another play broken up, and a penalty being called here. If the Sedin's on the attack, it's the Russians being penalized, and Sweden's going to get a power play. And Shipachev with a hook on the way back.
Well, one thing, when you overextend yourself here, you can see how quickly the transition game goes backwards, and there's the hook right there, and the stick, not much. But one that arm went up immediately. What an opportunity here for the Swedes. And with the Sedin line on, the Backstrom line comes out for this first power play.
Seems like it might take a power play goal to win this game. Pretty tight.
Very tentative, tight game, isn't it, defensively?
Backstrom wins the draw. Karlsson on the other side. One time to score! Gabe Landeskog with a laser beam, and Sweden has a 1-0 lead.
mentioned right off the top the importance of face-offs, and Nicholas Backstrom just wins this one as clean as you can get, almost directed right on the stick of Carlson. Carlson with no hesitation. Watch the execution here. One stride. Hornquist is the key, though. Watch the head of Bobrovsky try to peek around. Maybe you see it from this angle. There is no chance for him to even see this puck. He, at the end, tries desperately to get his blocker there. A perfectly placed slap shot one-timer through a double screen and off the post and in. You can't execute much better than that. Watch Bobrovsky. Quick look to his left, and that delay is enough to put it past his right side.
4 seconds from the time of the penalty to the time of the goal. Landeskog from Carlson and Backstrom. And Sweden has a 1-0 lead with a power play goal. And here they come again. Soderberg fed the puck to the front of the net. Markov was there to break the play up. Here's Ovechkin. In on the wing, snaps a shot. Markstrom made the save. That's Ovi's second shot on goal of the game. Wraparound attempt by Kucherov. And that's stopped by Markstrom, and maybe a goal will open this game up.
Well, you draw plays on a board and you try to execute them. This is executed to perfection. Let's have a look at what the puck speed, a little bit, the pass across, and then just fires at 128 kilometers an hour. What does it look like from the ice level? Here's Wes McCauley watching the play. Look at McCauley's eyes, never went to the puck. His eyes went to the front of the net to see if there was any infractions going on there.
Nikita Zaitsev holding the puck in for the Russians. Philip Forsberg back the other way. Backstrom's headed for the net, and a good play by Zaitsev kept that pass from getting through. Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Nick Chalmerson. Philip Forsberg. Nicholas Backstrom turned back. Evgeny Malkin. Nikolai Kulemin in deep. Chalmerson is back. Malkin coming in to help. He's knocked down, so Chalmerson gets a hold of the puck and has a chance to move it. Marchenko in behind the net. Backstrom back defensively. Chalmerson trying to get the puck out. Hornquist tipped the puck through the neutral zone, and Dmitry Kulikov is back. Artem Anisimov. Evgeny Kuznetsov just offside. Kulikov jumped up and wanted the puck, but he was ahead of the puck carrier.
Well, with the 1-0 lead for the Swedes here, they can continue to play a dialed-in defensive game, and it almost looks like it forces the Russians to start opening things up. You just see the difference between National Hockey League ice time. I think every national team, you expect that to a degree. You see the Canadians and how their ice time is leveled out, but right now when you get down by 1, the onus comes on the captain to try to get something going with the ice he gets.
Matthias Ekholm with a sneaky little backhander, didn't work. He threw the puck at the net, and Bobrovsky had to be sharp there. Erik Karlsson gliding back to get a hold of the puck. Ekholm to center, racing after the puck. Beating out the icing is Carl Hagelin. Ekholm gets to the puck and tried a shot that was blocked. Silverberg goes after Markov. Swedes are on a change. Henrik Sedin stepped off the bench, held the puck in. Carl Hagelin in front, they score! Victor Hedman jumped in off the blue line. The Swedes on a change, make it a 2-0 game.
Jim, if I'm on the Russian bench, I'm a little upset because you easily could have called too many men on the ice for the Swedes here. If a player jumps on the ice and gets involved in the play, it's a tough read here. The puck's coming around. Watch, Carlson's making a change, so is his partner. There's an awful lot of bodies. Ekholm and Carlson were not off the ice yet. And a good play jumping on and getting involved, and it's Hedman who jumps right into the play. Stick on the ice, traffic in front of Bobrovsky again, and he can't get a piece of it. That's a really close call on a change there.
Stallman back the other way, so the Swedes get the power play goal from Landeskog, and just over 2 minutes later, Victor Hedman jumps off the bench. Nothing like scoring a goal when you're only 3 seconds off the bench, and Henrik Sedin made it happen at the start.
Well, and so far, look at all the bodies over there, and when a guy comes off the bench, so often you get a missed assignment. You're looking at the puck, you take a quick look around, and then the player comes from the neutral zone and kind of gets lost, and that's exactly what Hedman did there.
Team Sweden goal.
So Hedman's able to stay on the ice with Henrik and Daniel Sedin. Louis Eriksson, Panarin with a long shot. And that's stopped by Markstrom. Carl Hagelin and Henrik Sedin get the assists on Hedman's goal.
Well, I think it's a real missed opportunity for the Russians here with just 15 shots at this point of the game and none really with traffic in front. You saw the first goal on Bobrovsky, he couldn't see it. The second one, a quick play to the slot, and I don't think the Russians have put nearly enough pressure on Markstrom, who had to come in relief today.
So this is about the time where a North American coach would get down to 3 lines, shorten the bench, try and get a goal.
Especially before the end of the period. Cut the lead in half, get something positive going into the third.
Shipachev, this line might be able to do it though. Panarin, Dadonov on the ice. Kulikov back in his own zone under pressure from Landeskog. Backlund dumps the puck in for the Swedes and they'll start another change. Dmitry Kulikov forced back. Alexei Marchenko. Panarin can't handle the puck at center. Carlson to Ekholm up the middle. Here's Soderberg. Hagelin with him, shoots, and Bobrovsky fought that off with his blocker. And Marchenko gets the puck, rink wide. Artemi Panarin cuts into the middle with some speed, fires a shot. Ekholm checked his stick and the shot went wide. Ovechkin steps onto the ice just as the puck goes onto the bench, out of play. A minute and 11 seconds apart. Landeskog and Hedman. Sweden with the lead. Out until just before the game that he was playing, and he hasn't given up a goal.
Well, another good lesson as a backup goaltender. You always have to prepare like you might be playing. And Lundqvist left about 2 hours before the game to go back to the hotel, and he's done a great job. This is an opportunity, as you mentioned off the top, in Vancouver this season, he's going to have a chance to really push for that #1 job. And who knows, Jim? He shuts out the Russians here, gets a big win. It might be his net going forward.
But this big red machine has but 15 shots on goal, too. There's a shot towards the net. Ovechkin on a rebound off a leg. Couldn't get his shot through. Ovechkin, Datsuk, Kucherov. Should be a line that can get the Russians back into the game. Nikita Kucherov with some speed. Cut off. Datsuk gets knocked down. Victor Hedman gets the puck. Stralman and around the boards. Dmitry Orlov is there. Datsuk goes after the puck against Landeskog. Rikard Gronberg, Swedish coach, has liked this matchup today. Backlund, Landeskog, Soderberg, a physical line playing against Ovechkin and Datsuk, and there's coincidental penalties coming up here.
Get the PlayStation 4 bundle now. Play NHL 17, the most exciting EA Sports NHL ever on PS4.
The surprising Europeans, winners over the USA yesterday, will take on the Czech Republic, losers to Canada. That's tomorrow, a very important game for the Czech Republic, and you'll see all of the games here on Sportsnet. Coincidental penalties handed out here to Alex Ovechkin and Carl Soderberg.
Well, Soderberg did interfere with Ovechkin, but you saw the head snap back there, and Wes McCauley, the veteran official in the National Hockey League, has seen that before, and he calls them both. So a little open ice with 4-on-4 hockey.
But Ovechkin's not involved, and a frustrating afternoon for him continues. Embellishment is the call on Ovechkin as Forsberg with a sharp angled shot is stopped by Bobrovsky. It's amazing how Alex Ovechkin has been so committed to his national team program and even talks about wanting to go to the 18 Olympics even if NHL players are there. Yet he hasn't had a terrific lot of success playing for his national team lately.
No, it is really squarely on his shoulders too. You heard the guys talk about it in the opening, and his desire to win, and to win both for his country and win for the Washington Capitals, and neither has he been able to accomplish.
Alexei Yemelin with a drop back to Evgeny Malkin, stripped to the puck by Henrik Sedin, but he's all on his own. Here's Daniel with a shot. Off Bobrovsky, off the post, and off the glass. Daniel to Henrik. And back. They'll get in tight with each other, and Henrik gets the puck back, looking for Daniels, cycling out front. There's the pass. And Markov got in the middle of that and broke it up. There was a little sedinery going on there.
Markov may play in the East, but he's seen that enough to know what was coming next.
Evgeny Malkin across the blue line. The Russians are offside.
This just fits into their game so well. They think effortlessly off of each other. It was the little strip of the puck off of Malkin there. Good hard shot. Bobrovsky had a hard time finding where the puck was initially, and then the cycle game goes. But what a reaction by Markov, good veteran player, understands, sees that you're going to come back to the front of the net. Where do I have to be? Just keep one eye on one Sedin and have a view of where the other one is going and get in the path in between, which he read very well.
Here's Artemi Panarin out with Datsuk. And he's got the puck on a string right now. Orlov comes over and takes the drop. Gets around Eriksson, cuts in front, stopped by Markstrom. Swedes are trying to clear the puck and they can't get it out. Panarin holds it in. Orlov takes over. Got Datsuk just ahead of him. Panarin gets some open ice, and Louis Eriksson reaches in and takes the puck away. Eriksson with Silverberg back the other way. Russians get the puck, and Zaitsev takes off again. Just got by Eriksson. He's 1-on-2, joined off the bench by Nikolai Kulemin. His pass. Nikita Kucherov sends it out front, and ring off the post. The puck got by Markstrom, but he got some help from a swollen goalpost as Nikolai Kulemin just about got the Russians in the game.
Both sides skilled players taking advantage of the extra ice, as you mentioned. Good cycle down by Orlov, gets inside of Eriksson. And as Kelly Rudy showed in the opening too, Kuznetsov loves this little pass. I used to get those ones from, as he said, Glenn Anderson did that to perfection. That one just off the post, barely missed to the outside as Markstrom able to hold on.
Still just 5 seconds left of the Soderberg and Ovechkin penalties. Swedes get the draw, and both teams will get their players back. It's 5-on-5 again. Ovechkin out of the box, step right to the puck, trying to control it in the air, can't do it. Philip Forsberg dumped the puck in. Backstrom's in after it. Marchenko is back. Kulikov takes the puck. Swedish penalty coming up here.
It'll be Backstrom on the hook there. He got a little over-aggressive, trying to turn the puck over.
So the Russians with a huge opportunity on the power play with 2:47 left in the period. There's the penalty.
Yeah, that's one. Just got into the leg area on Kulemin, and really a needless penalty at a time when you just took the 2-0 lead. Now, here's a glorious opportunity for the Russians to get that all-important momentum swing, cut the lead in half going into the third.
And Ovechkin will start this power play. He didn't start the first one. Datsuk's at center. Kucherov over on his right, Kuznetsov on his left. Ovechkin lined up at the blue line, and he gets the puck right off the hop. Markov with his shot, read perfectly by Markstrom. He got across. Markov had to handle a bouncing puck, so he couldn't get it to Ovechkin. Stralman up the boards. He clears the puck for Sweden. Backstrom. Carl Hagelin, the forward, starting the penalty kill. Dependable Stralman and Hedman back on defense. Here comes Kuznetsov. Painted himself into a corner, and Hedman took the puck away. And he'll just go for a skate, get to center, and fire a slap shot in and change. Andrei Markov slowly to center. Shipachev off the bench, into the middle. Nikita Kucherov to Ovechkin. He is hard around. Dadonov. Ekholm stepped in and took the puck, and he cleared it. And Ovechkin's not anywhere near the bench, nor is he going anywhere near. He's staying on. Zaitsev has come on. Ran into Dadonov, or Dadonov ran into him. And the Russians are slow to come out of their own zone. Vadim Shipachev. Evgeny Dadonov. Ovechkin gets the puck. There's a one-timer from Malkin, who just come off the bench. And Markstrom makes the save with 37 seconds left in the Backstrom penalty.
Ron, it's a power play that never really got on track. And here's Alexander Ovechkin I mentioned a little pedestrian power play before. None represented more than Ovechkin. Rarely does he get even past the 10 to 15 kilometer stage. The two shots that the Russians were able to get was a long one-timer by Markov with nobody in front, and that one there by Malkin, an easy save for Markstrom.
Shipachev mishandled the puck, shorthanded. Hagelin goes to the net, and the pass from Backlund might have been tipped, but it was just behind the speedy Hagelin. 20 seconds to go in this power play. Vadim Shipachev up at center ice. Panarin carries the puck. And he's into the attacking zone in the last minute of period number 2 with the Swedes ahead 2-0. Malkin gets himself open, passes off, and it's tipped wide by Dadonov. Malkin wouldn't shoot the puck. Backstrom's back on. Russians are 0 for 2 on the power play. It's 5-on-5 again. And Nick Backstrom just beat out an icing call. Russians get the puck back and clear it. Chalmerson. Hornqvist tipped the puck onto the Russian bench with 30 seconds left in the period.
Yeah, it's that fine line with the skilled Russian players of overpassing, trying to make the absolute perfect place. Dadonov out of the corner, Malkin in the slot all by himself. That's a hard play to make for a left-handed shot on a hard pass there. You really have to get some strength on the bottom hand, and Dadonov fanned on it, and it went helplessly behind the net as Malkin, who was right in the slot, couldn't shot the puck.
Russians will dump the puck in. Swedes just trying to run out the clock in this period as Backstrom starts out. Area pass for Forsberg to race onto. Kuznetsov got to it first. Evgeny Kuznetsov. Dmitry Kulikov. Ivan Tellegen tipped the puck in. And the Swedes will go to the dressing room with a 2-0 lead after 2 periods of play. Gabe Landeskog and Victor Hedman, 2 minutes and 11 seconds apart. One of the goals on a power play, and the Swedes are in control of the game. Haven't given the Russians a goal, Ron.
They're just masters, the Swedish defense, of finding that way to get it through on the shooting lanes, and this time it was a forward, Gabriel Landeskog, opening the scoring, but he's one of 6 former Kitchener Rangers in the World Cup of Hockey, and a gorgeous goal. It's 2-0 Sweden. Gerard Gallant to talk about tonight. Team North America Finland is coming up next. For about a year, we were calling it a gimmick. Team North America, the 23 and under team, and now they're the one you have to watch. North America, Finland tonight at 7:30 at Air Canada Centre. That will be a dandy. The Finns are really dominant at all levels lately, and this, well, 5 of the top 6 overall first-rounders in the uniform for North America. Here's Gerard Gallant on the coaching staff, and Elliot, you first.
Well, Gerard, there's a lot of great players to watch on your team. I think locally, the fans here tonight, Austin Matthews is going to play in this building. Do you sense any extra nerves, any extra excitement, and any advice the coaches give to him about this stage?
You know, we try and tell the kids to play their game. You know, go out there and play and have fun and work hard. But, you know, obviously the kids are going to be nervous playing here tonight in a big crowd in Toronto. But you know what? The 3 exhibition game we played, I think our group got a lot of confidence from that.
You're a lucky guy. You get to coach a squad with more talent than we've ever seen by all the young kids in the NHL today. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know, these kids are so skilled, and they're not scared to try things. They're doing different things on the ice in practice. They're out there having fun, and you know, when the practice gets over, that's when they have their most fun. They go out there and they're pushing each other and they're working hard, and to see that group of skilled players out there, it makes me nervous.
I know when Pat Quinn, Gerard, had the under-18 team, Matt Duchesne was on that team, Hall, Everly, Ben. He said, you know, to Guy Boucher, who was the former Tampa coach, you're working with John Cooper, of course, he said, this is not a time for X's and O's. These kids need to be asked, how do you feel? They need to be kind of coddled and made comfortable under pressure.
Yeah,
same kind of question.
Todd's done a great job with that, like you talked about. I mean, we take these kids in there, and you can't teach them defense overnight. You got to let them play their game, let them have fun and work hard. And like I said, we try to tell the kids, let's play a 200-foot game. You watched Sidney Crosby last night, the best player in the world, and he played a hard-working game in a 200-foot game. So that's what we need from those kids.
Could you hear that, Elliot? I'm not sure because it's loud over at your section, but just saying a 200-foot game, watch Sidney Crosby, you'll be okay.
Yeah, you know, and pretty good choice, good guy to watch. I am curious, we all watch Connor McDavid from afar. coaching him and seeing him up close every day, what's maybe something you've learned about him that you didn't know
Just
before?
the way he takes off. In practice, he's focused every day to get better, and he's a young kid, but the way he can skate and the way his acceleration is unbelievable. I mean, he just got a different level, and when he gets going, when he gets full speed, it's tough to catch.
When you and I broke into the league, the coach told us what to do. We did it, and that was the end of the communication.
Yeah.
How do you communicate? Because I know it's far different than it was for you and I.
Well, we show them a lot more videotape now. I mean, obviously with the videotape, and the kids want to see that too. They want to see their mistakes, and they want to get better. And this group of young kids that we got, I mean, every day there's at least once or twice a day, practice day, that you're showing them video. And like I said, they suck it all in now, and they take it, and that's what they want. They want to get better.
Tell me about the Finns. Obviously, you would know Barkov and Jokinen. You've got Ekblad going in the game tonight as a Florida Panther, but the Finns are a little bit under the radar, Gerard.
Yeah, no, they're a real good team. They're big and strong, and I think the way the Finns are going to play it, they play a safe game. They don't make any mistakes, and they take advantage of your mistakes. So we got to play a good, sound game. We got to make sure we're forechecking them real hard.
Ekblad's very patient. Peter Chiarelli made the comment, you have to have a godfather. Steve Yzerman, your dear friend, was absolutely that man in 2002 at the Olympic Games in Salt Lake City. Mario Lemieux maybe as well. But who's the godfather? Is it Ekblad?
Well, I think Ek's definitely one of them. Couturier's another good kid and a veteran kid, Brandon Saad. So I think some of those young kids rely on their veteran players like that. But there's no doubt the way Ekblad is out there, he's only 20 years old, but he's like he's 27 years old. He's a veteran player, and he's a good guy.
There is.
I'm curious, Ron asked you about the Finns. It looked like the Czechs watched those 2 games against Europe and they said, we're not letting you guys skate. And yesterday we saw Europe wait for the Americans to come at them and make mistakes. Do you think that's what other teams will try with you?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Like I said, when our first game against Europe, we didn't know what we had, and the kids were going to get together and play. And they came out and they were flying, and they were playing really well. And, to be fair to Team Europe, their team wasn't put together right away. They only had a couple days on the ice, so they had a tough time keeping up with the speed and tempo of that game. But they're a much improved team now after they had 3 or 4 days together.
Special teams are always important. Power play, we've noticed, it's a real struggle for the Russians in particular. How often do you guys work on the power play?
We do it every day. Every day in practice we do the power play, at least 5 or 10 minutes. They show a lot of video on it because those things are really important in a short tournament like this. And so we show them the plays, we show them the successful plays that they get done, and then we'll show them obviously some Finland PK tonight.
Gerard, we've got radar guns in the puck. We've got them in shoulder pads, so we know how fast guys are skating and how hard they're shooting. We found out from Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews that they think Seth Jones is the quickest guy on the team. We were shocked to hear that he's the fastest skater according to them. Do you buy that?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, there's some quick guys. McDavid, McKinnon's real quick. So there's a lot of fast guys in that team. But, the kids know better than I do.
Hardest shooter. Who's caught your eye with the shot?
Hardest shooter would be Colton Periaco. From what I see, this kid, he shoots the puck real hard and real heavy shot.
Well, Brad Richards, Gerard says he's got about $7 million to play with, so I know you've retired, but as a PE Islander, the pride of Summerside, thank you for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Gerard Gallant of Team North America. They'll take on Finland this evening at 7:30. Nick Kiprios will slide on in, and we'll analyze the second period. The Swedes. Torino, it was Matt Sundin, Peter Forsberg to Nick Lidstrom, a bomb from the point, just like the goal that Landeskog scored here tonight. Henrik Sedin was on that championship squad, and he's with Scott Oak.
Henrik, clearly the game has turned in Sweden's favor, but were you starting to think, like a lot of other people, until Landeskog scored in the power play, that this was going to go to overtime?
Yeah, I mean, even though there's a lot of offensive firepower on both sides, it wasn't a lot of grade A chances. So, but once we got the first one, I felt like we took over the game, and I think we've been patient, so that's been good for us.
There's a lot on the line here. Clearly you're trying to win the World Cup, but how appreciative are you of the opportunity to play with your projected line mate in Vancouver, Louis Eriksson, in a best-on-best tournament?
No, it's great for us to be able to get a few games together here and not play preseason where it's tough to get up for games, but now it's playoff hockey right away, so it's good for us.
Quickly, are you and your brother treating this as potentially your last international appearance for Sweden?
We'll see. We haven't said that, but we're getting up to age where you never know. It might be our last time we can put this jersey on, so we're going to make the most out of it.
Thanks, Henrik. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. 3 Canucks on that line. Matthias Ohlund, Marcus Naslund, and the 2 Sedins on that Olympic championship team, Kelly, that you and I watched ringside in Torino, Italy. So, ice time, Elliot.
Well, the Ovechkin thing, it's so fascinating to me. He had 4 shifts in the first 14 minutes of that second period. And then watch what happens on the 5th shift, which is right before a commercial break. So his line mates, Datsuk and Kucherov, get on, but Panarin, who's on the previous line, he is out there for an extra long shift. And finally, when he gets the puck in deep, he goes to the bench. Now, there's a whistle right after that. Ovechkin gets on. He's been on the ice for 6 seconds. So this is the commercial break, and the coach sends on Malkin with Tarasenko. And it's a great that the guys got it. The camera didn't capture it, but Ovechkin looked at the bench. And he's like, really? So then the coach changed his mind. He took the Malkin line off the ice, and he let Ovechkin have another shift. Now, what happens in that shift is Ovechkin makes the big mistake of taking the embellishing penalty. If the coach is going to give you a chance, you can't do that. But, you know, it's funny. You guys were talking about how Crosby only played 13 minutes last night. I don't think it's fair to compare those overall. In a vacuum, it's very fair to say Crosby got a great game last night, 13 minutes, no complaints. But this happens in Team Russia all the time. And you're down 2-0 here. You know how much you can't afford to lose these games. Do they finally turn these guys loose in the third period?
I don't think they will. Their history has proven to us that they don't. They just refuse to do that. And for all of us that have watched the Russians over many, many years, it's frustrating to all of us. I heard Jim and Craig talk about it a number of times.
So we found out a little earlier, a swarm of bees shut down the Jays and the Angels. And for about, what, 15 minutes? Well, hey, take a look at that second period. There's a swarm of the Swedes that pretty much shut down Russia for those same 15 minutes. It's all about time and space. And the Russians had a little bit more of it in the first period, but this second period, and we talked about it, Soderberg, Landeskog picked up where they left off. Markov doesn't have a lot of time, as Craig Simpson talked about it, and finally he gives up the puck, and Hedman comes in and buries that second goal here. But it's not even close in that second period. Who took the game over?
You know, both teams have a lot of stars. And I'm going to talk about Patrick Hornqvist. He's not a star in my opinion, but he's still a really valuable player for Team Sweden because he just does everything right. And we've seen this all through his National Hockey League career. So he starts off the game 2 minutes in with a big hit. Then in the second period, he gets a breakaway. Bobrovsky with a great save, but this is so like Hornqvist. Get to the front of the net, take away the eyes of Bobrovsky. Marchenko now has to go to the front, and there's a goal by Landeskog. And that is just a hard-working guy, no points, but to me, he's one of the guys that's had a big impact in the game.
Okay, Pittsburgh, we saw it all through the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hornqvist and Crosby yakking constantly and sharing information and ideas, and it panned out here. The Pittsburgh ploy, we'll call it. We saw it last night. Sid breaks for the puck, takes the stretch pass, and gets a chance that's stopped. Same save, actually, coming up here as Hornqvist sneaks it. Go ahead, Elliot, if you can do it quick. You can if you want to do it quick.
Oh.
Never mind?
No, I did, you know... I just didn't know. I thought I wanted to let you finish the story because you were going so great with it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that great. It wasn't. And no need to have a bee in your bonnet. Leave that to the Blue Jays.
Hey, have you guys worked before together?
Never. So you had an epiphany. I'll get it out of you before the night's over with. So if you want to see the Bees, they're playing with the Angels, who lead 1-0 against
Matthews, Connor McDavid, Team North America take on Patrick Laine in Finland on Sportsnet. Talked a lot today about the passion Alex Ovechkin has about playing for his country. This is his second World Cup. It's a holdover from 2004, although back then he had yet to play a game in the NHL. Ovechkin been drafted first overall the previous June, joined Russia's World Cup team as a 19-year-old, played in 2 of the team's 4 games, had 1 goal, and then had to wait another year to start his NHL career because of the season-long lockout. He was worth the wait, becoming one of the faces of the NHL, although he loves this, playing internationally just as much. This is his 12th time representing Russia at the senior level. You got to think, Jim, he'd like to be doing more today, but he can't do it from the bench. 2 shots on goal in 9:49 of ice time in the first 2 periods.
And not much ice time, and same could be said for a couple of other stars, but the combined shot on goal total for Tarasenko, Malkin, Ovechkin, and Panarin is 8 of the 19 that the Russians have so far. So they need to get something going offensively here in the third. See if they can against a very good defensive team from Sweden that has a 2-0 lead. Sedins and Louis Eriksson start the third period. These two teams in Group B along with North America and Finland. Daniel and Henrik held the puck in. Pavel Datsyuk. Alex Ovechkin. The drop pass. Tarasenko can't get a shot. Great reach by Hedman to get in and poke the puck away. Andrei Markov. Datsyuk played the puck back so that he could change. Alexei Yemlin steps up, didn't get to center, fired the puck in, and it's an icing call. Another step, and he had a shoot in, and they were on the attack.
Just to follow up what Elliot was talking about, the difference between the Crosby 13-plus minutes and Ovechkin where he's at tonight. Crosby had 27 shifts last night. That shift to start the third period was Alex Ovechkin's 14. So he needs to basically double his first and second period numbers to even get close to it. I think it is a bit of a difference, especially with the depth of this Russian team compared to the plethora of depth with the Canadian team. And add to that, down by 2, you've got to find a way to find some instant offense.
The Canadians have clearly decided if they're going to play 4 lines, and they do, that they better be really short shifts so you don't get anybody sitting for very long.
And that's where you get at such a high level, and the pace of that game was so effective that made it almost impossible for the Czech Republic to keep up.
The shift length for the Russians is closer to 40 seconds. And there's another icing call against Team Russia.
And the one thing that the Swedes, coming in the game plan is don't give them any time and space. Right off the bat, a guy like Karlsson, not the most physical. Stralman, he's accustomed to boxing out. Look at the gap control there. Not allowing him an easy access into the zone, and that's the frustrating night. You expect that as a star player, and that's why you just covet to have a little bit more opportunity.
Henrik Sedin won the draw. Louis Eriksson fired at the net. Bobrovsky made the save. And here comes Nikita Kucherov with some speed down the right side. Stops up, feeds the puck across. Dmitry Kulikov trying to feed the puck in front and ricochet. Tellegen fanned on the pass or the shot. And Louis Eriksson picked his pocket, but he's pretty late in his shift. And he dumps the puck in. Tellegen, Anisimov, Kucherov turned back into their own zone. Kulikov, Marchenko. Here's Artem Anisimov. He's turned back. And Alexei Marchenko is watched by Gabriel Landeskog. Soderberg's there. Backlund as well. The puck hit a man at the Russian bench, and so play is stopped.
Well, this is playing right into the way the Swedes defend, too. You just turn pucks over, and they don't give you much room. Tellegen, it's got open ice in the neutral zone. Soderberg with a good stick. You're back the other way, and you're going hard back into your own end. 200 feet away from the Swedish net. Another chance and a turnover that turns things back. Yeah, that's the Swedish hockey. They are very adept at playing a defensive game.
Scramble draw, the Russians get the puck. Zaitsev. Dadonov. Shipachev played it back to him, and Landeskog was going to have none of that, and he flipped the puck in the air, and it's off the glass. Did he ever get a break? That was close to being a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, Johnny Murray was right there, the linesman, so you heard him tapping against the glass. That's a big break for Landeskog. One of those quick plays, the puck's rolling, but just nicked off of it enough. Couldn't have better positioning for the linesman to make that call.
Haven't seen the magic that we thought we might see from this Russian line. Shipachev, Panarin, Dadonov. Dadonov across the ice. Markov moves in and shoots. Markstrom the save. Rebounds gobbled up by Nick Backstrom. Up the boards to Hornqvist. Can't get the puck out. Panarin kept it in. Shipachev. That Dadonov in front lost his stick and the puck, but Dadonov got it back. Hedman breaks up a play in the corner. Gets some help from the center, and Backstrom got the puck to center. Markov is back. Philip Forsberg is the forechecker. His line mates are changing. Silverberg stepped in front of Dadonov. Andrei Markov to center. Ovechkin's come on, tipped the puck in. Markstrom sets it up there. And Erik Karlsson steps up and goes. Quick pass, deflected out of play by Carl Hagelin. Just outside the Air Canada Centre, you can see the throne. It's sponsored by Sport Check. It is a throne made of hockey sticks. Get your picture taken there. And at the end of the tournament, who knows, maybe a team picture there on the throne if they can determine who is the king of this tournament. Swedes are thought to be one of the teams that could win this, and they've shown why today. Large stretches, not offensively, but they've been airtight defensively against a Russian team that has 20 shots on goal right now.
And now they just continue to do that, turn pucks over the other way.
Hagelin with his shot, and Bobrovsky made the save, but here's a Russian coach who at least now is altering his lines, and he had Tarasenko out there with Ovechkin in that suit.
Well, and then just trying to do things, you press offensively when you're down by 2, and this is just textbook Swedish play. Step up at the blue line, Carl Hagelin making sure he gets a good shot on net, no rebound, get a face-off, a zone away from your own net.
Swedes win another draw. Sedin got it. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's shot was knocked down by Kulikov. Malkin, Kulemin. Now joined by Kucherov. So Kucherov and Tarasenko have switched lines. Nikita Kucherov in deep. Nikolai Kulemin. Daniel Sedin in there trying to get the puck loose and get it out of his own zone. The Russians won't let him. Kulemin to Malkin. Good defensive play by Hjalmarsson and an equally good play by the defenseman Kulikov to hold the puck in. Malkin from the blue line throws the puck towards the net. Marchenko tipped it wide. Kucherov can't get his stick loose from Henrik Sedin. Marchenko is pinching. Can't get to the puck. Ekman-Larsson cleared it for Sweden. Another quick change for the Swedes.
That's an offensive zone shift, at least for the Russians, to try to follow up with. Good battles in the offensive zone. They need to spend some time down here.
Now for the first time in the game, Ovechkin is double shifting. Came out this time with Kuznetsov and Artem Anisimov. And the Russians go offside.
Well, at the end of that long shift, Kucherov trying to get to the bench, and why not grab the stick? Henrik Sedin wouldn't let him get the change, wanting to get a call. Henrik took his stick into the bench, and eventually they were able to get it back. Sooner or later, the trainers exchange the stick back to its rightful owner.
Shipachev, Dadonov, Panarin. Out for the Russians against Backlund, Soderberg, and Landeskog. Dmitry Orlov dangerously in front, almost had his pocket pick. Swedes get the puck back. Michael Backlund. Got by Orlov, got the puck deep. Zaitsev is back. Checked by Landeskog, and Backlund got the puck. John Stallman crossed the line. Hedman had to back off. Knew Shipachev was there. Evgeny Dadonov gets a return pass. Panarin's over on the right side. Shipachev tried to make a little play and couldn't in the neutral zone. Backlund sends the puck in, and the Swedes change again. And the play is stopped by Wes McCauley, who's calling a penalty here. And Alexander Ovechkin is getting a slashing penalty that will put the Russians shorthanded down 2-0.
Now Wes McCauley seemed a little irritated there. I'm guessing with what we were just watching before about the grabbing, going to the bench, there's a lot of chirping going on, and Ovechkin was just coming out for his shift, and he ends up the one getting caught. So from bad to worse for the Russians here, down by 2, having to kill off a penalty. Have a look here. Here's what Wes McCauley is seeing. There's the reaction and the chop. One thing I can guarantee is that both these officials talk a lot to the players, so I'm sure there was a lot of warning saying nothing between the benches after they were watching it, and Ovechkin was the first to come out and do something.
He knew he was going to get a penalty to hit him harder than that.
Yeah. Make it worth it, right?
So the Swedes have a power play goal on 2 opportunities. Erik Karlsson into the middle. Philip Forsberg takes a shot, just missed the net. diving to try and hold the puck in. Couldn't do it, was Landeskog. Back the other way, and Isimov with a shot. Markstrom with a save. And a rebound was up for grabs. Good shorthanded bid by Artem Anisimov of the Blackhawks. Erik Karlsson regrouping on the power play. As Backstrom, Daniel Sedin's coming on. Sedin line making a change, and the puck comes around to Louis Eriksson. Yemelin stepped in, broke up the play, couldn't get the puck out. Nice catch by Karlsson. Daniel Sedin out of the corner. Backstrom, Karlsson fires his shot. It was blocked partially in front by Nikolai Kulemin, and he's away here with Pavel Datsyuk. Kulemin fighting to get to the net. Backstrom stays with it. Now the two Russian forwards are caught. Daniel Sedin to center, 2-on-2. He's got Karlsson with him. Henrik coming off the bench. Ivan Teligan, penalty killer, came back to help out. And the Russians get the puck to center. Half a minute left in the Ovechkin slashing penalty. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Louis Eriksson gives him the puck back in the corner. Stralman's back at the blue line. Daniel Sedin creeping in off the left wing to the front of the net, now in behind it. Eriksson backs off in front and got tripped by Anisimov. Henrik to Daniel Sedin. Stralman's over on the left point, sneaking in again. Here's Daniel. Looks out front. Now he's going to go back to Henrik. Penalty's almost over. Henrik to Daniel, in front for Eriksson, stopped by Bobrovsky. Ovechkin's back on. Ekman-Larsson gets the puck and plays it back to center, and Ovechkin took a run at Ekman-Larsson. He's going to stay in the play after serving his penalty.
That was a big save by Bobrovsky there on a point-blank shot right in the top of his crease. Keep it a 2-goal game.
Stretch pass again for Carl Hagelin. Silverberg goes to the net. The puck goes into the netting off the stick of Markov. At the end of a power play, Ovechkin stepping back on the Sedin's little give and go play. Eriksson in front, and a big save by Bob. It's still 2-0 in the World Cup. 2-0 lead. He actually beat a lot of these Russians at the World Junior Championships in 2010 and a team that included Vladimir Tarasenko. But I think, Craig, more importantly, in front of him today, there haven't been odd man rushes.
No.
Russians get nothing off the rush. They haven't had sustained pressure.
You think of the strengths of the Russian team, it's their individual abilities to make plays under pressure, and right now they haven't been able to gain the zone easily. They haven't had offensive zone time off the cycle, and it's been a pretty good defensive clinic by the Swedish team.
And it's not all that Swedish defense. The forwards have been so good helping them that they can stand up, take away space, and here they are looking for what might be the insurance marker. Came close to making it 3-0. They've come closer to making this game 3-0 than the Russians have making it 2-1. Panarin. Dmitry Orlov steps up from his defensive position. Dadonov is with him. Orlov scoops the puck around to Panarin. He's checked by Hagelin, the forward coming back. Hjalmarsson pokes the puck ahead. And the Swedes are back out to center. Evgeny Dadonov in traffic. Artemi Panarin, puck got just a little bit ahead of him. He catches up to it from the blue line. Yemelin's shot. Markstrom the save. Malkin is fresh off the bench. Onto the boards. Markov in deep, banked one off a skate in front. Dadonov can't get a shot. And Gabe Landeskog gets the puck and shoots it in. Malkin with an errant pass intended for Kucherov, and that was tipped by Stralman onto his own bench.
The 5th season is when kids dream big. That's why we're a proud sponsor of the World Cup of Hockey, with over 8,000 community teams across Canada.
You have to have a shoot mentality if you're the Russians now. A little cycle back by Panarin, controlling the puck. And finally, a little bit of traffic in front of the Swedish goaltender, but he's able to get a shoulder on that and keep it harmless to the outside.
All the firepower up front with the Sedins and with Nick Backstrom. Here's the Swedes with a chance. This isn't a line you would have thought of as one of their tops two, but it's maybe been their best today. Centered by Michael Backlund with Soderberg and Landeskog, and they've iced the puck and have to come back into their own zone.
And it buys you some time. When you keep pressure from a line that maybe you're just thinking, okay, you're going to have to defend a bit. Instead, the Russian forwards have spent a lot of this along the board. So you got Malkin's line in the defensive zone instead of the offensive zone. Almost got caught, but Markstrom will take the icing and hope Backlund can win the draw here.
Here's the great 80s with Datsuk, and Tarasenko's now the right winger, and Datsuk won the draw. Dmitry Orlov fires a shot, and Markstrom made the save. There was some traffic in front. Ovechkin has to go behind the net, battling with Victor Hedman. And he battled well and won the puck. But his cross-ice pass was tipped by Soderberg and out. Swedes are trying to change here. In comes Ovechkin on Hedman. Stralman turned back. Ovechkin got it. Now he's got the puck, and he fanned on his pass and gave it away. Patrick Hornqvist skates to center, content to dump it in and turn the defenseman and go in after Orlov. Datsuk comes back. Ovechkin is changing. Past the midway mark of the third period. Sweden in its opener ahead 2-0 over the Russians. Evgeny Kuznetsov trying to go it alone. Stopped at center by Philip Forsberg. Nikita Zaitsev. Anisimov stepped up. Yemelin dumped the puck in. Swedes get it back. Russians one and done again. Henrik Sedin. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Hard pass. Missed. Louis Eriksson, and back the other way comes Evgeny Kuznetsov once again. Dumps the puck in for Anisimov. He's got Kuhlman in front. This is a different line. Anisimov turns and fires. And the puck's deflected out of play. Russians trying to change some line combinations, maybe shorten the bench and battle hard, but they're still down 2-0 in their opener at the World Cup 2016.
Assembled, but so was Russia's 2011 team that won gold at the World Juniors in Buffalo. Orlov, Kuznetsov, Tarasenko, Panarin, and Zaitsev were on a team that trailed Finland in the quarterfinals and came back to win. Sweden in the semis, and they won that. And then Canada in the gold medal final, in fact, down 3-0 after 2, won at 5-3. So great resilience. And now here are the 2011 graduates in the World Cup, but they're in tough against Sweden, Jim.
And Oleg Snarok, their coach, has gone to the blender here. He's trying to get some offense going. He's mixing and matching his lines, and he's got Kucherov trying to break up the middle here with Panarin and Malkin. A line we haven't seen today. Dmitry Kulikov is back to the puck. Marchenko. Haven't seen Malkin play with Ovechkin. There's an icing call against the Russians, and they're down to under 8 minutes left, trailing 2-0.
Yeah, the challenge now for the Russians is just to try to find some open ice to sift through the Swedish defense. When you got that 2-0 lead, you know the Swedes are batting everything down defensively. They're trying to clog up the neutral zone, not allow anybody to get behind them, and they've done a pretty solid job of it so far.
Henrik Sedin's been winning all of his faceoffs in the third period. He got that one. Eriksson put the puck to the net. And he's after it again. His backhander, Bobrovsky, made a nice save there. Mattias Ekholm held the puck in. All of this off a one faceoff by Henrik Sedin, and he's got the puck behind the net. Daniel. Eriksson in front. The pass goes to Henrik. He fanned on that one, trying to get it to Eriksson in front of the net. Nikita Kucherov to center. Late in his shift, so he's on his own. Malkin came up with him, off the bench. Ovechkin shoots, deflection. Markstrom made the save. And Ovechkin fell heavily into the end boards from the blue line. Zaitsev shot over top of the net. Malkin to the net, missed it. Now Malkin's got to change. Zaitsev holds the puck in for Alex Ovechkin. Off the bench comes Datsuk, straight up the middle to the front of the goal. Ovechkin taken down by Erik Karlsson. And a puck comes out to Louis Eriksson, who's late in his shift and dumps it in.
A missed opportunity there. You had a tired Sedin line there, trapped in their own zone, but Ovechkin unable to find anybody to get the puck to.
Vladimir Tarasenko with an errant pass. Datsuk knocked the puck out of the air. Nicholas Chalmerson ahead. Orlov to Zaitsev. Tarasenko, Datsuk, and Ovechkin on the ice. Gabe Landeskog driving in against Nikita Zaitsev. Orlov under pressure from Soderberg. The defense holds the puck in again. Soderberg turns and fires, hit a leg in front of the net. Datsuk can't clear the puck. Ekman-Larsson pounced on it, held it in. Backhand pass, Orlov blocked that. Quick after the puck is Nikolai Kulemin. Flies down the left wing and put on the brakes looking for help. And he's forced outside the blue line. Russians really trying to pick it up. Alexei Yemelin cuts into the middle. Andrei Markov with a pass into a crowd, deflected away from the front of the net. Pace is really picked up now. Nick Backstrom, Patrick Hornqvist turned the puck over to the Russians. Markov sent it down the ice. Markstrom out to meet him. Anton Stralman stripped of the puck by Kuznetsov. Anisimov side of the goal. Panarin on the other side. He's trying to get away from Nick Backstrom. In comes Hedman with his reach. Can't get the puck out. Marchenko. Kulikov's shot hit a leg and went wide. Hedman again against Panarin. He'll go back the other way, and Stralman will try and get the puck out. Philip Forsberg off the glass. Hornqvist finally for the Swedes gets the puck out through center, and they'll change as the Russians start to come with some pressure. Here they come again. Dmitry Kulikov to center. Backhands the puck in. Markstrom fires it around the glass. Silverberg finds the puck in his feet. Russians get it back. Here comes Malkin with Kucherov. To the net, Markstrom hangs onto the puck. And he'll stop play with 4:46 left in the third period. Russians trying to get the puck to the net. Alex Ovechkin off the bench, fired a shot and ricocheted, and Markstrom made the save against Team Finland. And a very young defense and a changing of the guard. Right now, it's Sweden against Russia in their first game, and the Swedes have a 2-0 lead. Russians coming on here as the game wears on into the third period. Malkin, Panarin, Kucherov's in front of the net. Artemi Panarin, Nikita Kucherov. Panarin again, chased to the blue line, he turns back. Kucherov couldn't control the puck. Panarin held it in only for a moment. Backstrom got it out to center. Nick Hjalmarsson is back. Right on him is Evgeny Malkin. Backstrom was on for the faceoff, had to stay on, and he won a battle as the center in support. Kucherov off the bench, Pavel Datsyuk tried to dangle in, and he stripped to the puck. Henrik Sedin gets to center, dumps it in safely, and goes after the puck. Zaitsev is back. Ovechkin's come on, he played the puck back, and it bounced off of Orlov, and the Sedins have it. Henrik Sedin dropped pass, Daniel with a shot, Bobrovsky the save with Eriksson screening in front. No! Henrik tried to knock the puck out of the air, and he did get control. Time-eating shift by the Sedin, just dumping the puck in, and they make a change already. Tarasenko would send it. And again, Ovechkin's on the ice, but chasing the puck. He hasn't touched it on this shift.
Now the defense just standing up in that neutral zone. Carlson with a great read to turn the puck over and keep it in the offensive zone.
Hedman and Stralman have been great today. They played a lot against Ovechkin. Stralman pinched in there. Backlund held the puck in. And another Ovechkin shift comes to an end. And in this one, I don't think he got over center ice. Bouncing puck, and Hedman takes a few whacks at it, and he finally got it towards the boards. Carl Hagelin lifts the puck to center. Stralman again. Hedman to center. Kruger dumps the puck in. On the fly, Silverberg with his shot. And a rebound off Bobrovsky's taken by Anisimov. Throws it up on the right wing. Here's Kuznetsov. Kulikov goes to the net. Passes behind Anisimov. Kuhlman with his shot. That's blocked by Marcus Kruger. And he does go. Kruger banks the puck to Jacob Silverberg. And on the wing fires another shot. That's two on that shift. Bobrovsky has both of them. Russians have shortened the bench.
You wonder if Bobrovsky will follow this play up, Jim, or not. They've taken him out of the net.
Here's Kucherov. Panarin tried to feed the puck back. Malkin followed with a shot. Nice save by Markstrom, and the rebound was knocked into the corner by Panarin. Panarin, Malkin, and Kucherov right back on after his short rest. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Under 2 minutes to go. Russians get the puck. Here's Evgeny Malkin. Nikita Kucherov. Checked by Ekman Larsson and Henrik Sedin. Malkin swatted the puck towards the front of the net. Stallman was there, and he just took the puck to center, lobbed it in, and racing after it is Louis Eriksson, so there'll be no icing. Alexei Yemelin is back. Up to Pavel Datsyuk. Ovechkin's over on his left. Goaltender's coming to the bench for the extra attacker, but the play went offside.
Well, Bobrovsky was finally coming there, but it's almost was a one-goal game as Malkin coming in. Just quick release of that shot, and Panarin couldn't find it right at referee Wes McCauley. And the turnover was there quickly, but nice job of Markstrom getting down and just closing the gap. And the Russians have taken a timeout here to talk this over and set up a play.
And make sure that they get the important players who are on the ice just a little bit of rest, but it seems that most of this discussion is about the play they're going to make.
I think, though, a combination, Jim, when you had the top guys out, want to get a little rest, you have a face-off that's outside because it was an offside, so much more difficult to set up a scoring play, but at least an entry that'll try to create an offensive zone hole. This has been a good clinic, though, by the Swedes, coming in as advertised as a well-oiled unit, a real good, solid group of five that they play together with, and the defense have been solid as well. There hasn't been much open ice at all for the Russians' talented players to get anything going.
Two of the KHL players, Shipachev and Dadonov, have been parked on the bench. The Russians are down to three lines. They've altered those three. And in comes Tarasenko, goaltender out for the extra attacker. Nice play by Markov to hold the puck into the line. He threw it around to Ovechkin's side. Hjalmarsson is there. Nikolai Kulemin in for Malkin to Ovechkin. Soderberg came right to him and poked the puck away, forcing Alex back to center ice. Datsyuk, Kulemin, Tarasenko, Malkin, Ovechkin, and Markov. One defenseman, five forwards in after the puck, and no goaltender in the net. Markov. Ekholm trying to clear the puck. Comes to the blue line. Tarasenko into the middle. Datsyuk. Malkin. No shot yet. Remember, they need two. They're trying to set up Ovechkin. That was tipped by Soderberg on the way. Now he shoots and scores! .33 seconds remain on the clock, and the Russians are finally on the board. It's a 2-1 game.
That almost looked like a last effort and last option for Ovechkin. He tried to get the one-timer, wasn't quite ready, looked up, didn't see anyone to give the puck to, and just threw it towards the net. Look at the reaction of Markstrom. He doesn't track this one well at all. Goes right through, dips a little bit past his glove. Did Kulemin get a piece of it? I don't think so in front. Might have got a little touch of it, but off the post and in. Here's your look from the net cam, and it just barely beat the side pad of Markstrom.
The Russians went to the bench and wanted to talk about another play, and Dan O'Rourke would have none of that. He came right to him and said, get back out here, let's get this face-off going. Less than 30 seconds to go. They leave the goaltender out, dump the puck in off the draw. Markstrom is there to throw it in the corner. Alex Ovechkin threw the puck wildly at the net. Still 20 seconds to go, but the puck came outside the line. Markov fires it back in. Kulemin went after it. Stallman tried to clear the puck all the way down the ice. Racing after it is Markov, and he wanted to get there in a hurry to get the whistle to go. And it's an icing call with just over 10 seconds remain, and they'll check to make sure that's exactly the right time.
I don't think the Swedes will take a timeout here. They've got some veteran guys. You can see Hedman saying, don't take it, we're good. He's calling them off. He wants the Russians to have to be forced to make a play without drawing one up.
Face-off will be taken by Michael Backlund up against Pavel Datsyuk. Datsyuk has Markov right behind him. They're still checking to make sure that 10.6 is the right amount of time on the clock, and this helps the Russians get a little breather.
And reinforces why the Swedes don't take a timeout. They get plenty of time to rest here, and
they just got one.
The Russians don't get to get organized at the bench.
Datsyuk won the draw. Markov, Tarasenko stopped by Markstrom. Rebound, they score. This will be waved off. Ovechkin put the puck in, but it's ruled right away. He directed it into the net without his stick.
There's just no question about this one. Ovechkin, it was just a reflex play. He's still trying to sell it, saying it hit my stick.
They're going to review this, and maybe he's right.
Well, let's have a look. His reaction was one that, yeah, I scored.
7 seconds on the clock.
They missed the goal on the ice as the puck was dropped in.
Ovechkin right next to O'Rourke saying, no, hit my stick. His reaction was immediate, but so was that of the officials. What a job, though, winning the draw, getting it back quickly. Let's have a look. Oh, he thinks that he tapped it in after. There's no question that his left hand knocked it towards the net.
But did he get his stick on?
What we'll have to see here, watch the left hand of Ovechkin get it right there. He missed it, in my opinion, there. It was close. He's trying to sell it. This might give a better angle. Look at Markstrom, has no idea where it is. I don't think he got a piece of it.
If he did, it's just a touch, barely a touch.
Let's have a better look here. Can we tell? You remember the call on the ice was batted in, so it has to be conclusive. Do you see any movement at all? Nah, to me, he didn't get a piece of it there. Great sell job, though, and why not for Ovechkin?
And he didn't get it once it hit the ice.
Boy, just how quickly a game can change. Isn't it amazing how the Russians frustrated, nothing going right for them, can't get any offense. And here's what's on Alex Ovechkin's mind. Get to the front of the net. Quick reaction with the left hand. Yeah, I don't think it did. His reaction, though, is one that he obviously felt that it did hit, and you wonder whether he and the defenseman maybe banged sticks a little bit, and that's what he felt. But he definitely was determined that he did get a piece of it. I'm not sure that he did.
It's clear in his mind. Is there a definitive look that overturns the call on the ice?
Upon review of the play, the call on the ice stands. The glove in, no goal, face off outside.
And Alex isn't happy. He really feels that he touched the puck after he hit it with his glove. And with 7 seconds to go, the score is still 2-1 Sweden.
Yeah, the fans are going to watch it on the big screen here. He comes right into the face of Wes McCauley saying, how did you not see it? And I don't think there's any question that it didn't hit. It's awfully close, but has to be conclusive, as we said. Amazing how much you can get done in 2 seconds, though, isn't it? They almost scored to tie the game.
With a clean face-off win, and now they've got to get in again, but Stralman is there to fire the puck back down the ice, and that'll do it. Close call. The Russians came alive late. Their best period was the third when they shortened the bench and started to play all their stars in different combinations. But Sweden and Jacob Markstrom, a surprise starter today, begin the World Cup 2016 with a 2-1 win over Russia. Time for our Advil play of the game.
Victor Hedman coming off the bench gets what ends up being the game-winning goal. A little bit of confusion on the turnover. Hagelin with the backhand pass and just a rocket of a wrist shot off the post and in. Turned into the one-timer that ends up being the game-winning goal.
And our Molson Canadian, the 3 stars of the game, Jacob Markstrom, found out just before this game that Henrik Lundqvist had the flu and he would be the starter. And he gets a big win for Sweden. Bobrovsky kept his team in the game till they got some offense in the third. Victor Hedman, playing against all of the star Russian players, led them in ice time, had a goal, and was superb defensively. So game 1 ends in a bit of controversy, but it's 2-1 Sweden. Here's Ron McLean.